We're excited for the season. I think the early start of practice has been phenomenal. I would think for everybody, but especially for a team that's as new as we are. Because all of a sudden, after losing 4 guys that scored over 1,100 points along with Illinois, we're one of the 2 youngest teams in this league, experience-wise. So we've had a lot to learn. We have a lot to learn. I think the biggest thing we're trying to get accomplished right now is to get our team to understand, this team to understand what it takes to practice at a championship level and showing the standards of last year. Not necessarily who it was, but how it was done, I think is the most important thing. For us right now, we're trying to get ourselves to a point where we have a consistent level of leadership, and guys understand that leadership is nurturing, but it's also demanding, and to understand what that takes. And then just getting a young team to really absorb how important it is to be as fundamentally sound as they can be, to be as technique-driven and detail-oriented as they can be, and the more that you can get them to understand what causes you to lose, and more games are lost than won in so many different ways, and get them to understand that even without game experience, to try to put them in as many situations as we can in practice, to have referees probably anywhere 75–80% of the time, more so than we ever have, to help them learn, but also to get ready for the new rules. But it's been a great group to coach because they have a humbleness. There's a real total want to, and it's just going to take a while to get to the whole how to, and that's what we're going to be in the midst of trying to get accomplished. But love coaching our team. I love what Will Sheehy and Yogi Farrell are trying to provide for us on the sense of on the floor and in the sense of the way they're trying to help make it even more competitive, the way they're trying to lead. Love the addition of Evan Gordon and the knowledge that he has of the game, and it's a thrill to try to stretch his game, to get him to go above and beyond where he thinks he can be. And then all the guys that are freshmen and sophomores right now that are going to play considerable roles for us. So we are proud of what we've done. We've got the culture moving in the right direction when it comes to work ethic and when it comes to character, and now we just got to understand how hard and tough and competitive you have to be on a daily basis.
Thanks, Coach. Let's go fourth row on the left. Coach, I guess just, can you measure yet how much more you gained because you've had the longer preseason with this young team than maybe a year ago, 2 years ago?
No, I don't think there's any way to gauge it because it's so different. I think because the timing of it is so different. But again, yesterday's a great example. I mean, we're doing situation work, what we do with a couple seconds on the clock side out, a couple seconds full court, a couple seconds underneath, and just completely speaking a foreign language. I mean, completely. And that was something last year. We won the championship because we understood how to play situation basketball. We were down to Michigan State. 4 with a minute and a half to go. We were down 5 with 50-some seconds to go at Michigan. We win both of those games because our guys understood situation basketball so well. So the answer is no time is enough. I mean, it's great to have this kind of time with them. We're going to need every bit of it. And at the same time, you have to balance when they need to freshen up, when they need to get a little time off, when they need to be pushed a little harder, and how you balance it throughout a long season.
Go middle, third row.
Jeff Raptowns.com. Tom, can you just talk a little bit about how special Noah Vonleh could become if he develops as possibly expected throughout the year?
Well, he's got a special work ethic, and he's got a special humility, and sometimes the word sponge can be used, and it's really just a lot of hyperbole. You know, when it comes to somebody that really wants to learn the game and get better, not with him. He is high level and wanting to get better. And for somebody with that kind of talent level and that kind of ability, I mean, it's fun to watch. I mean, he really understands that there's things that he doesn't know, but he wants to get them, and he wants to get them that day. And the work ethic for an 18-year-old, just 2 months into his 18-year-old birthday is amazing. So as he continues to get comfortable with the ball, away from the basket, and at the basket, when double teams start to come, when he understands all the different awarenesses that come defensively, whether you're on the ball, whether you're off the ball, he already knows how to rebound at a high level. The biggest thing he's got to get is a he's got to get more demanding of the ball. He's got to be, he and Cody have a similarity. Neither one of them would just step out and really demand it with their body at times and with their voice at other times. And that's something that Noah's got to develop. He really does, because it's not just the skill set of scoring. It's a skill set of being able to drive. It's a skill set of being able to pass. It's a skill set of being able to facilitate for others. And I think when you can do that, you can take your game to another height. So when he gets that, you'll start to see him really take off.
So on the right-hand side.
Hey, Tom, neat to bring in the Fort Wayne News Central. I know it's very early, but thoughts on how you see the Big Ten shaping up?
Well, I haven't given it a lot of thought, other than, sure the predictions, see, right, I haven't really looked at any of the teams as much. I followed a little bit of the box scores, so I really don't have a great thought on it.
So left-hand side, fourth row.
Tom, Bob Kravitz, Indianapolis Star. What sorts of progress have you seen from Yogi Ferrell this summer and the first couple of weeks of practice?
Oh, I don't think there's any question that the way the season ended at Syracuse and the way that they played him, especially on ball screens and the zone, has helped propel him to making points in the sense of he's going to become a better shooter off the dribble, he's going to become a better shooter off the catch, he's going to become even better off the ball screen. His shooting has improved tremendously. There's been nobody that has come in that gets paid to evaluate that hasn't made a comment about his improvement, and especially on the offensive side. He's got to understand that his greatness is going to come this year from what kind of leadership he provides on a consistent basis when it's not comfortable or convenient. Can he get to the basket at a high level, especially with the way these rules are? And that was something that he's really started to do a better job of in the last week in practice, but it's got to carry over into the games. I think the other night, shooting 2 free throws and 2 defensive rebounds, those would be very abnormal for where he's going to be during the season. Making 6 threes, I'm not sure if he's shooting the ball at a high level. He's our most consistent and highest percentage three-point shooter in practice. But the leadership part of it, the demands of his teammates, the ability to be more communicative on the court, on both ends of the court, and then being able to get to the foul line and being able to get defensive boards. When our break starts with him, where he's actually the one with the ball rather than getting it in an outlet, the numbers are staggering from a year ago. And I think it's got to be the same type of thing. But there's not one aspect of his game that I wouldn't say is not improved.
Time for one final question on the left.
Coach, how did Stan's knee react to playing in the scrimmage last week? How has he kind of come along since then, and what did you like from what you saw from him?
Well, I think he learned a little bit about the difference between being hurt and being injured. When you're injured, that's a whole other situation. And when you're hurt, sometimes you just got to be able to deal with it a little bit and play through it. And I think he's learned a little bit about that. He came back and has had a couple of very solid practices. One where the time that he's missed of being on the court has affected him some, and his wind and conditioning, but not in his game. And right away, he's back to being a guy that gets to the foul line, that can get to the basket, and still too quiet, still too much locked into his man rather than being locked into the help defense. Still doesn't know all the offensive things that we're doing yet, but has been a pretty quick learner. But I think the thing that he's come back in there and has just played like he's not favoring anything at all and really trying to play with a pretty strong reckless abandon, which is important.
All right, thank you, Coach. Good luck.
All right, thank you.